So I know how all of you watch my videos and then there's poor light, like when I'm working on undercarriages like this and doing different things on cars, and I don't have the trouble light just doesn't really give good light for videoing. But anyway, I got something here, new toy that I'll be sponsoring, and it's a pretty nice work light. It'll run on 120, or you can put a battery pack in there. I took the little thing off the bottom, but you can plug it into 20 amp or 15 amp 120. It has USB and USB-C. That's brightness for the light, the on-off. These lights fold up and they turn. Both lights will fold. So I could have both facing the same way. And it came with, you get the instructions obviously. And there will be a link in the description to this so you can get one on Amazon. There's a thing there with a little discount. Comes with the 120 volt power cord. This is a little thing I took off the bottom where you access the battery. It's got a 21 volt lithium and the wall charger, and when that goes, I assume when that goes to green, it's charged. So we're just giving this a little charge and then we'll use the light. I'm going to repack the wheel bearings on the Bel Air, so you're going to be able to see what I'm doing here. I haven't repacked them in 25 years. I wasn't going to repack them until I realized it'd been a long time, and I'll show you how to reset the preload. This has got ball bearings in it. And if you don't set the preload properly on them, they just go bad in short order in a few thousand miles. And I see a lot of tubers, they work on these old cars and they set the preload like it's a roller bearing. And that's not how you set ball bearings. If you set your ball bearings up like you do roller bearings, you're going to go through ball bearings like candy. And a friend that had a 61 Impala, and we were going somewhere. He was taking me for a ride in it somewhere. This was like 30 years ago. And I told him, I says, you got a bad front wheel bearing. He's like, I put wheel bearings in this car all the time. And so I told him, go back to the house and I'll take a look. So we popped the wheels off, and two of the wheel bearings were bad. Both of his outer wheel bearings were bad on the front from not having the preload correctly set up. He says, well, I just put new bearings in it about 6 months ago and repacked them. That couldn't be bad. Well, it was. And I'll show you why when I get it apart, why they go bad if you don't set the preload. But anyway, you're going to be able to see what I'm doing with this light. And again, there will be a link in the description if you're interested in buying one, just so you can see kind of some of the specs on it. And I think that was the only specs on the box. Yeah, and then there's this. So anyway, like I say, go check it out in the description. Maybe you might end up wanting one. There we go. The light turned green, so the battery is completely charged and ready for use. So it took about 3 hours, but it was fresh out of the box, so it needed charging. It says here in the directions, the work time is 2 hours on the battery. The charge time is 3 to 4 hours. So that kind of gives you the info on it. And if you run out of power, or if you're where there's a an outlet, plug it in. It'll work just fine plugged in, or just as it is. Here, I'll even video a little bit of the instructions so you can kind of see. You can just pause on it. That's the plug-in down here. And there's the remainder of the plug-in instructions. So there you go, a little bit of the instructions. Like daytime under there, it's nuts. You can clearly see the sway control things that I just finished up here not too long ago. All right, we'll get back at this tomorrow. We'll do the wheel bearings and we'll finish up a video on this awesome light. Looks like you could even wall hang it if you wanted to. Yeah, that thing's slick. my old Craftsman Real-O-Matic thing here, and the light, which is a 100-watt bulb. I'm going to do a little comparison under the car here. So that's the 100-watt right there. So I'll give you a look at the underneath floor pan with 100-watt. And then I'm going to turn this on, then I'm going to turn the trouble light off. So there we go. Now I'm going to turn the trouble light off. Yeah, you can't even, other than you can see a color difference reflecting on the floor. Yeah, so you guys will be able to see what I'm doing on this car easily with this light. Yeah, that's nuts. And there it is without even the wings folded up. Just sitting there illuminating the underneath of the car. Yeah, I won't lack light when I'm working now, that's for darn sure. Take a look at the underside of the F-150. This truck is 100% original. I've done nothing to it other than put one set of tires on it. See the fuel tank over there. It's got a big fuel tank. I think it's like 28 gallon, something like that. 30 gallon, I don't know. It takes $102 right now to fill. I filled it up not too long ago, and it took $102.50. So yeah, gas needs to come down in price. But yeah, this is the underside of the, this is a 2008, and it's got just over 100,000 miles on it now. Well, I'm using the work light so I can, and you can see what I'm doing. It sure beats the trouble light, that's for sure. So this is the first time these wheel bearings have probably been greased in a good 25 years or so. You see the grease isn't too bad, but we'll find out once we, oh, that's preloaded, so I gotta get a pair of channel locks or something to get that loose. I'll get the shop manual out so you can kind of see the procedure on it. It's only a few foot-pounds, but that makes the difference between these bearings lasting and not lasting. See the original style of grease seal on there, and see the ball bearings in there. I think that actually looks pretty good considering how long it's been. I mean, the grease is a little blackened in the bearings themselves, but other than that, they're really not bad. Yeah, that's going to clean up pretty easily. This is going to be a pretty easy job. I'm going to throw everything in the parts washer to clean it up. But the thing you want to do when you take your wheel bearings apart is this is where you can see where the bearing rides, and you got to look for little pits or nicks in that race. And this one looks really good. Of course, I'll check all the races. But yeah, that race is in good shape. Now the bearings will be happy to have new grease in them. I think they're to the point to where they needed it. I mean, you know, and probably the 20 years since I've done it, I've probably put 20, 25,000, maybe 30,000 miles on the car tops, and so it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll get everything cleaned up here and repack them, and I'll video a little here and there as I go. Everything is all cleaned up, so what you look for to see if you have bad bearings is you look at the races and see if there's any pits or discoloration or anything. And this one's perfect. And that one's perfect. And you want that. These are the other races. And you want to look at these. And they're all good. That one's good. And that one is good too. Nothing wrong with the races. The bearings and cages are all cleaned up and look good. So I'm going to repack the bearings and put the hub back on. I'm not going to video the other side because I just got grease all over my camera and it's just been about impossible to clean off. It's still got grease on it, but I'm going to reuse the grease seal. Nothing wrong with that. This is the original style grease seal. I'll give it a little clean up, and everything's looking good here. And today is solar eclipse day, so when the eclipse happens, we're not in the direct totality path, but we should see some effects from it here, so I might saunter outside and have a gander when that time comes. Yeah, I think we're at our maximum darkness right now, and it's just, I just wish that the camera would show the darkness. I mean, it's crazy nuts. Yeah, it just, sorry, the camera shows it like blinding bright, but it's...
You can see them in the shadows, remember last time?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just a little tiny sliver right now. I don't know if it's peaked or not. They said 310 and it's after 310, so it's probably peaked. That's how I put my bearings in there. Give them a grease, pack this full. We'll be almost done here shortly. And again, I don't want to get more grease on my camera, so this will be the end of the video until it's all back ready to put on the car. Check this out. It says made in the USA right on the seal right there. Yeah, these will work. These old original style seals are, I reuse them and they work better than the new Chinese garbage, you know, those rubber seals you get. They always tend to leak. I find this one, if you're not over greasing, you know, your bearing, they work great. But anyway, we gotta throw the rest of it together and put it on the car now. So I'm gonna video this along with reading it to you. And I think it's very important. So it says here for the wheel bearings to tighten the spindle nut to 28 foot-pounds while rotating wheels. So you tighten that nut 28 foot-pounds while you're turning it. Pretty cut and dry. Then you back off the adjusting nut until the bearings are loose, 0 foot-pounds of torque, and then re-torque to 12 foot-pounds. And if you don't do that, you're going to go through ball bearings like candy. And then it says check the location in the slot nut with reference to a hole in the spindle. If the slot in the nut lines up with either vertical or horizontal holes in the spindle, insert cotter pin. If when the spindle nut is tightened to 12 foot-pounds, the slot in the nut has passed beyond the vertical line or horizontal line, and the spindle back off the nut a sufficient amount to line up to the next slot in the nut, other than, you know, and the other hole in the spindle. Spin wheel to make sure it rolls freely. Properly lock cotter pin by spreading ends. But it's really important, this step, that 12 foot-pounds of preload on the ball bearings is absolutely, I can't stress it enough. I see so many people on YouTube videos with these old cars with ball bearings that put them together like they're roller bearings, and I email or I leave a comment that they're going to burn up their bearings, and I don't know if they read them or what, but if you don't do that, you're going to go through ball bearings like candy. You can, you know, roller bearings are totally different games, so you don't adjust your ball bearings like roller bearings. Again, I cannot stress this enough if you want your ball bearings to last. My torque wrench is set right at 28 foot-pounds. This is 1 inch and a 1/16 socket. 28 pounds. Make sure everything's seated in good. Back it off. That's 0 foot-pounds, and now I'm going to reduce this to 12. I got that light on, and I have the garage door open, and it's sunny out, and yet it still makes it so I can see nicely in here. That light is just awesome. So that's 10, 11, 12 foot-pounds. Oops. Change this back to the correct direction. There we go, that's 12 foot-pounds. Now that's adjusted correctly, and one of the drills is right here and the other is right there, so this one wouldn't line up, this one will. So let me go get the cotter pin and we'll throw it in there. I always tap my cotter pins up to the spindle there so they don't, otherwise sometimes they rub on the cap and make noise. Let me get something tap that on. I don't want to dent it. I'll get like a little screwdriver or something around the edges. I used to have a tool you'd put over them and hammer them on, but I think I can find it. There we go. One side completely done. Like I said, I'm not going to video the other side, but anyway, yeah, that light, like I say, the garage is open, both doors, light fixtures are on, and just the difference of light here is day and night. Let me reach over and turn this thing off. There. Yeah, you can see a huge difference. Well, I got the driver's side cleaned up. This side was, the grease was nasty. Yeah, this was well needed repacking the wheel bearings. That race is good. That race is good. Let me wipe these ones out and then I'll gander it down. Yeah, these appear good too. Usually they rumble like a snow tire when they're bad, so if you have a rumbly wheel, you probably got a bad wheel bearing. Well, they're good, so let me get these greased up and I'll throw it together and be done with repacking the wheel bearings. It didn't take very long at all. Something I really hate doing, believe it or not. I absolutely hate repacking wheel bearings with a passion. But it's easy to do and doesn't take very much time. But again, I don't know why I hate it. I just do. And again, 28 foot-pounds, which is right there. Turn it a little bit. Back it off to 0. That's 0, and then reset my torque wrench to 12 foot-pounds. Let's see here. That's 10, 11, 12. Foot-pounds, and it looks like the pin will go through there if I just loosen that just a smidge. Loosen it as little as possible. All right, so let me go get a, hopefully my leg or anything wasn't in the view of the camera. So you can see where the cotter pin is on this side. It's, you know, there's one here and one here slit. So you just kind of get that to where you can, you know, loosen the nut as least as possible. Anyway, let me tap this on and we're done repacking wheel bearings. There it is, all 100% back together, repacked front wheel bearings. I'm glad I did that little bit of preventive maintenance on the car. As you know, I don't realize how long it's been, but yeah, the grease was nasty in the left hub. The right hub, it wasn't too bad. But anyway, this video is really on this light, I just decided to video repacking the wheel bearings. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry, but I wanted to show how you tighten ball bearings on these old cars. But anyway, this is what the video is about. So if you want one of these lights, there's a link in the description to it. I recommend it. I love it. I think it's absolutely awesome. So again, if you liked my video, that thumbs up icon will help me out in getting some more views. That 348 engine icon that pops up will help you subscribe. So if you want to stay tuned to my channel to see future work on the Bel Air and any other projects I might do. Yeah, I've been putting off a lot of work on this car over the years to do other projects. So this is all well-needed maintenance and whatnot that I'm doing. But anyway, if you like the video, again, hit that thumbs up icon, and thank you for watching my video.